This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injuries and additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/SBO. Terms and conditions apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want your connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
What do you call the annual ball for ghosts? A paraformal activity.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by 2 really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valves, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve.
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network Studios, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medical practitioner, gives me street cred with the wacko alternative assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
We also have in the studio DJ/NP Mel B. Hello, back again.
Hello, how are you today?
Oh, we're going to do some fun with DJ Mel B in a minute. Well, it's not that much fun, but it'll be fun. And we also have Stacey DeLoach, everyone.
Ahoy.
Boo. I hear the boo in the background. No, it's what? No, I don't know.
There's ghosts?
This is a show for people who have never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you have a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call. 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM or at, what's yours? What's your Twitter? Do you still have to do Twitter? You don't want to give it out? Okay, it's fine. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, practical nurse, physician assistant, pharmacist, respiratory therapist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, clinical laboratory scientist, registered dietitian, or whatever. Good Lord, it just gets longer and longer. Please don't forget. You know what? We may not be doing stuff.drsteve anymore. Stuff.drsteve.com. Get it in quick, because I just got a letter from Amazon saying, oh, you have to send us a screenshot of all the places where you're driving traffic to this, because I guess we're we have too much traffic or something, or they can't see where they're coming from because people are bookmarking them.
Okay.
And so we may not be an Amazon affiliate much longer. I'm going to try to comply, but hell, I don't have time for all this shit. You wouldn't believe all the things they wanted me to send them screenshots of. So we're going to try. But anyway, so for one more week, stuff.drsteve.com, and check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And I'm doing Valentine's Patreons, or not Patreons. I'm an idiot. I'm doing golly, Valentine. I need a shot of that tequila. That's what I need, DJ Mel B. So I am doing Valentine cameos, where I'm wishing people a happy Valentine's Day with lots of fluids and secretions, but hopefully devoid of things like syphilis, gonorrhea, and I list off a bunch of different venereal diseases. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And you're a gentle woman and a scholar. And also, please check out our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdmedicine. We're going to have Mark Normand on this week. We're going to be doing some celebrity interviews on there. It's mostly just Tacey and me, but we're going to have other people in. This week, we have nurse practitioner Chanda, the Botox queen, and she's talking about Botox and some other stuff like that. It was kind of fun. So, and vaginal rejuvenation.
Ooh.
Do you need any of that, Stacey? I'm just kidding.
Because
I was looking at DJ MLB when I said that, but see, I threw in Stacey instead. That's comedy, though.
You saw me throw a thumbs up.
That is what we call improvisation. So anyway, all right. Dr. Scott, you got anything about Simply Herballs to talk to us about?
Believe it or not, I remembered your nasal spray.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see what you got.
Can I give a little?
Yeah, of course. Give it a little plug.
Something.
Let me get you. There you go. You're on camera. You just don't know it, but you are. It's delayed. You know that, right?
Yep.
No, just show it while you're talking about it.
Yeah, this is the new addition of our nasal spray family. The original one plus the CBD oil that's mixed in there. So I brought it for Dr. Steve to try and give me some feedback.
Okay, we're going to try that.
We'll try it.
And what this is useful for is when you don't have a Naväge unit nearby.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, we're
Good
going to talk about that in a
stuff.
second. We have with us today a very special guest, Martin Hoke, the president of Rhino Systems Incorporated, the medical device company he founded in 2007 to develop, manufacture, and distribute Naväge Nasal Care, my favorite medical device, the innovative saline nasal irrigation system that he invented. Now, I sound like I'm a used car salesman right now, but I really do love this product. Hello, Martin, and thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Dr. Steve, so good to be with you. Thank you, and thanks for having me on. It's
so
great.
Can I call you Martin, or should I call you Mr. Hoke or Dr. Hoke?
Please, just don't call. Anyway, yes, of course,
okay.
Call me Martin. I'll call you Steve.
Don't call me late for dinner. I get it.
There you go.
Oh, boy. So, hey, it's great to have you on. We talk about Naväge all the time on this show, and I'm always giving Dr. Scott heck, or I did for a long time, because he would talk about the neti pot, and I've always said, if you want to see a bunch of people that look dumb, go, and this has nothing to do with the people themselves, it's just looking dumb is Google image neti pot, NETIPOT, and everybody that does the neti pot looks dumb. So with this device, you look cool. So we're going to talk about that, but a lot of people don't even know what we're talking about. So Martin, talk to us a little bit about nasal lavage, hence the name, and why you invented the Naväge system itself.
I'll be happy to. So back in 2006, 2007, I used to suffer every single winter from multiple sinus infections. And I don't think that's that unusual, in fact, but this particular winter was really bad for me. And I was on my 6th Z-Pack 3-pack. And, you know, it actually gets depressing after a while, because you just feel like you've lost control of your life. So a friend of mine says, why don't you mix some salt water up and sniff it up your nose. And I said, instead of saying you're trying to drown me, which is what a normal person would do,
of course,
I actually said, okay, of course, I will immediately. I jumped in the shower, I did it, and I got immediate relief. I mean, I literally had no idea all this stuff that comes out, and if you're really congested, which you are on your 6th sinus infection.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about this, and it's just exposing the interior of the nasal cavity with saline, with normal saline, 1%, 0.9% normal saline. So I looked into it, and I tried to find out about what was going on, and that's when I learned about neti pots. That's when I found out about Oprah Winfrey doing the neti pot thing.
Yeah.
On her show with Dr. Oz, and I tried that. And then I tried the squeeze bottle, and the neti pot, man, that was really hard for me.
For people who don't know what a neti pot is, well, Scott, you're the neti pot genius. Talk a little bit give us 30 seconds on the neti pot.
You pour too much in, you drowned.
Well, okay.
It's not helpful.
It's not helpful
Very
at
technical,
all.
very technical. Well, he gave me 30 seconds. What did you expect?
Well, that was 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, the theory is like he's talking about. You attempt to wash out your head and your sinuses with this neti pot thing, and it's pretty hard to do.
What is it? I mean, describe it for people who've never seen it.
You know what it looks like? If you could easily mistake it for a little Japanese teapot.
Yep.
It looks like you put water in it and get it nice and hot, and then you literally, looks like instead of pouring your green tea into your shot glass, you're pouring this solution up in your nose, and it's not
and you have
really
to turn your head sideways, and the
it,
trick is you want to put it in the top nostril, have it somehow drain out the bottom nostril.
Allegedly, yeah, and that's not always easy to do when everything's all clogged up.
And the other thing, Martin, when you did this first saline, did your friend give you any proportions, or were you just, if you take a tablespoon of salt and put it in a tablespoon of water, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, he said something to the effect of, mix up a little bit, like half a teaspoon or so in about 8 ounces of water. Well, of course, that's all wrong too, unless you want a super hypertonic solution. I didn't know any of that then. Ignorance is bliss, Steve. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And I went along on the program because a drowning man will grab for anything.
Sure.
And,
yes.
Watch out. When he grabs all of y'all.
I tried this. I tried the neti pot, a total bust. I mean, I did it, but I'll tell you, sniffing water out of my palm was a lot better than the neti pot.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, I actually come from a medical background. My dad was a surgeon. My grandfather was a general practitioner. I couldn't do well I could never figure out chemistry. So I became a lawyer. And but in all of this.
We're going to have to tighten up now. We're going to have to tighten up.
I'm just kidding.
So in all of this, all my cousins, all these doctors, nobody had ever mentioned saline nasal irrigation.
Right.
I'd never heard those words. I'd never sniffed salt water up my nose. I might have gargled salt water maybe, but my dad was a cutter. He was a neurosurgeon, and it's a different thing. I mean, it's not like is it Scott?
Yes, yes, that's
with the where clinicians and with medicine's different. I don't know. Anyway, I'm babbling, but the point is that I had never.
You fit in well on this show, then.
Well, that's right.
And it was a complete revelation.
Yeah.
To have something so simple be so incredibly effective. So I got to thinking about it, and I'd done a bunch of other stuff, and I was sort of between opportunities, and I thought, there has just got to be a better delivery system for saline nasal irrigation, because this therapy is so incredible.
Yep.
And I didn't even know the half of it at that point. I just thought it was just for chronic rhinosinusitis. I just didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's where we.
Well, I'll let you know. One of the reasons that I'm a big proponent of Naväge is because since 1989, when I graduated from residency, I've been recommending Ocean nasal spray. It used to be that was the one back in the day,
Yeah.
and then Simply Saline down the road. So for 30 something, however, how many years is that?
Wow.
I'd have to do Howard Stern math to figure that out, but it's been a while. And
33.
Thank you. 33.
You're welcome.
I'll give you one of these.
Give yourself a bill.
So 33 years I've been recommending nasal saline, and then I saw this thing, and I wanted one, but it wasn't until I walked into a local chain drugstore and had the same kind of deal where I'd had some sinus thing going on forever, because the fall months for me are just torture, and I was desperate, and they had the darn Naväge. It wasn't mail order anymore. It was just on the shelf, and it was under $100. I mean, I think it was $89, and it turned out to be the best $89 that I've ever spent. So I love this thing. And as a matter of fact, we have NP Mel B is going to do it today after you and I get off the phone, just in case we have a mishap. I didn't want that happening while we had you on the phone. That would be embarrassing. So, but anyway, so let me ask you something. You mentioned more than just for sinus infections. Tell us why nasal hygiene is important. And I think Stacey had a comment for you too when you're done. But why would we use it for something other than, say, a sinus infection?
Well, there are a number of things that it's known to immediately give relief to, and that's congestion caused either by flu, cold, infection, or allergies. In addition, it just helps you breathe better through your nose, which is one of bad nose breathing. Going to mouth breathing is an indication for snoring. So it's not all snoring is caused by that, but the majority of snoring is caused by going from this typical pattern of nose breathing when you lay down to mouth breathing. And if you irrigate before you go to bed, then your conchi, your turbinates are they're shrunk, and you've got more air space in the nasal cavity. So you've got those things. But I think that really what I've come to believe, and I've been doing this really for a long time now, which doesn't make me necessarily smarter, but I have a lot of experience with it. And
experience, baby.
and the conclusion I've come to is that really this is the third pillar of personal hygiene. And it's very similar to bathing, routine bathing, and toothbrushing. Bathing got into the mainstream in the 19th century, in the 1800s. Toothbrushing in the 1900s, mid-1900s. It took the introduction or the invention of nylon, and then World War II for, and now like 98% of Americans brush their teeth at least once a day. But these things both, so the question is, what really improves health? Is it modern medicine or is it personal hygiene? And of course, the answer is both. They have a profound impact on why people live so much longer than they did even 100, 120 years ago.
Yeah.
And the thing about hygiene is that what's really going on is what you guys, doctors, like to say is that dilution is the solution to pollution. So if you can, germs love to live in these warm, moist, dark places. Yep. And so, they multiply, they congregate, they do really well. And if you keep them cleaned, it's not a cure, it's not a drug, it's just thinning out that multiplicity of microbe buildup. And we do it every day in our mouths, we do it every day on our bodies. And now there is a simple, really convenient way to do it daily with the nasal cavity. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfectly healthy, but it means that you're giving your body a better opportunity to defend itself and to keep that air filter, which really is your nose. It's the first line of defense against germs that are airborne, allergens, all that stuff. It's what prevents them from the first line against going into the lungs. And if you can keep those germs thinned out and not as concentrated, you're just going to be healthier.
Yeah, it just makes sense to me that if you've got allergens, particularly in your nose, and you decrease the concentration through lavage of the nose, that you'll have less inflammation and therefore less congestion. So it just makes sense.
And I might add to that as well, too, the thing I love about this saline solution that he makes is it makes it even more inhospitable for these bacteria and viruses. Yeah. You know, when you keep the nasal passage moist and it doesn't crack and it doesn't allow pathogens to crawl up in these splits and create infections, it makes much easier to keep everything.
That's a good point.
Clean, yeah.
Dry nasal dry nasal passages that crack are an entry point for bacteria and stuff. Stacey, were you going to say something a minute ago? Did you have something you wanted to say? I mean, you always have something to say. But anything apropos to this conversation?
No, I was just going to say that my dad is originally from northern Mississippi, so they've got all kinds of weird things down there, like putting kerosene on mosquito bites. But one thing my grandmother used to make us do, if you had a head cold, was mix salt water and snort that to flush that out. Yeah. And, that stuff would burn, but it would clean you right out.
Yeah.
But that was 40 years ago.
So another
a ringing endorsement by Stacey.
Right.
Oh, yes. I'm here for the promotional side.
It's really so, and you know the neti pots. There's a fellow up at Wisconsin, Dave Robigo, who's anyway. He did a lot of research on this, and somebody sent him from some temple art in a Hindu temple in India, pictures of somebody using a neti pot in the Ayurvedic tradition, like 700-800 years ago, but people that lived near the ocean, they would clean their nose out with just sea salt water, seawater. It's the same idea.
Well, my nose is always
been around forever.
If I go to the beach and I'm swimming, my nose is always way better. My allergies are better. Everything's better. So, and the drinks are better too. So, have you considered doing any studies to prevent disease with this? Particularly, I'm thinking, I don't know, viral upper respiratory diseases. I just happen to be in my mind, no particular reason, like
there's not anything going on right now.
Global pandemic or anything like that. But I just wondered, have you all thought about doing any sort of clinical studies for prevention as opposed to just treatment?
Yeah, we've. It's a great question. We've actually been. Naväge was used in a study that was conducted by Dr. Amy Baxter at the University of Augusta Medical School of Georgia, and great results when you use nasal irrigation immediately upon diagnosis of a particular disease or problem or infection. And that sort of a treatment study is relatively easy to undertake. The prevention study that you're talking about, that is the holy grail of these studies.
Sure.
And it has not been done. It's a lot harder to do it. As you know, it takes a lot more people. It takes a lot more money. And it's just, I want to do one. We haven't done it yet because ultimately, the other thing about this is that it's just like you need large numbers to prove or disprove the hypothesis. And the hypothesis here would be you're not going to get as sick. You're going to not miss as much work. You're not going to have as many trips to the doctor. You're not going to have as many prescriptions in a 1 year time.
Yeah, or whatever the endpoints are that you choose, right?
Exactly, and so you have to start with a group, and then you test one group for 6 months against a control, and then the control becomes the group that actually uses it. And then the problem that you've got there is that the group that was using it, a bunch of those people aren't going to want to stop using it because now they've become they've become nasal irrigation. Oh my, I can't believe I said that. Shut my mouth.
I'll beep that out.
Anyway, thank you. So they become nasal irrigators, and then they don't want to quit. I'll tell you, we've sold over 2.5 million of these Naväge nose cleaners now, and people just it's kind of like brushing your teeth and bathing in the sense that you have all these benefits, but you also get this immediate gratification. It's its own reward with this refreshing ability to breathe deeply through your nose. These, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, well, DJ Mel B is going to find out here in a few minutes.
I'm terrified.
And we're going to have to do a play-by-play because this is audio, and you hate doing sort of visual things on radio, but I think this is worth doing because just the look on her face as she experiences this for the first time should be fun. For people, maybe they don't understand what we're talking about. This device, you put distilled water in the top, always distilled water. And as they've got these little salt pods to make sure that it's the right concentration. It will not work if you don't put the pod in there properly. And then it makes properly. No, don't.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Oh my God.
That's why we love Mel B. That's why we love Mel B.
Well, no, she's trying to put tequila in it.
There.
No, God.
Yeah,
no,
don't do
no,
that.
No.
Right. She's just doing that as a warning to people,
Don't do that.
what not to do.
No.
And I see. Oh, good.
And then it's properly buffered saline. And then you put this thing up to your nostrils. There's two sort of, what do you call them?
Nose pillows.
Nose pillows. I like that. Okay. That's a nice euphemism for what they really are. But no, they're nose pillows. And it will shoot saline in one nostril and suck it out the other one, which is the genius of this. So you don't have to turn your head to the side or anything. You're just going to put your head forward like you're smelling roses and hold that thing level.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
Hold this thing level?
Yeah, hold the device level. Yep, and you're going to do it just like that. That's right. So we're going to do that.
Naturally, breathe naturally through your mouth and relax. If you're relaxed, the beautiful thing, it's technology. It does it all for you. That's the cool thing. And when
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. I'll throw this in here. What I do is when the saline is halfway down, I twist that thing 180 degrees, and now it'll suck out of the nostril that it was.
It reverses the flow.
It reverses the flow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It'll suck out of the one it was shooting saline in, and vice versa.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun.
Are you going to do different flavors?
Hey, Dr. Steve, we need a drum roll.
Okay, well, we'll get one. So let's finish up with Martin, and we're going to do that. Like I said, I don't necessarily want her doing this with him on the phone just in case something goes awry. Because he's already...
I'm tender.
He's already promoted the neti pot, and we don't want to have any...
Okay, so I have a question for you, Mr. Martin.
Sure.
How am I not going to drown? Because these are air holes, not water holes. I'm not a fish.
I think you have two doctors here that could pretty much take care of you.
How do I not drown?
Mouth to mouth is free up here.
We'll turn you upside down, drain it out.
That's right.
Vigorous chest massage. But no, let him answer.
Yeah, the short answer is your soft palate, because your soft palate will close, and then your nasal cavity becomes a closed system. And what happens is that the nasal rinse, this isotonic saline, goes in the one nostril, goes all the way back to the back of the nose. There's a gap between the back of the septum and the rear wall of the nasal cavity itself. So it goes back one side of the nasal cavity, around and through the posterior margin of the nasal septum, and then it comes forward again and out. And the reason it doesn't go down your esophagus or into your trachea is that the soft palate is closed. And the only time that the soft palate doesn't close is with folks that are scared, honestly, and they're frightened.
Here we go.
I think also,
but I'm sure that That is not the case
There's a
with
vacuum.
It has a vacuum, so
DJ.
it's going to draw it.
And the vacuum helps.
Yeah,
suck
and
it
it'll
out.
pull it.
Okay.
It'll pull it out and it's pulling it out. And I'll tell you something, Scott. The reason that some physicians feel that there is an advantage over an actual technological advantage over the neti pot is that the Bernoulli principle is sucking across the ostia.
Yes, sure.
Right?
Sure.
And it's pulling out of, it's pulling things out of, it's pulling the mucus out of the sinus cavities. And that's a big deal.
Yep.
Oh, it's huge, yeah.
And so.
And it collects in the bottom. It's separate from everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it all collects in the bottom there.
See,
And
that
I
might make
actually,
me gag.
Steve, what you're doing where you're reversing in the middle, that's incredibly conscientious. I never do that. I might reverse, the next day or something.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fun.
Hey, Martin, Dr. Steve's an overachiever, buddy. He does.
That's true.
He's an overachiever. But no, I think it's a beautiful device.
I am smart. I am smart.
All right.
I think it's a beautiful
Okay,
device.
one last
Like,
question. When
yeah.
I put this thing up to my face,
I mean,
Do I
you're the
hold
only
my
person in
breath?
the country that's ever had the inventor of the thing get to
I know, I'm so
this
excited.
is awesome. Yeah, so go ahead.
It's making
Sorry.
me feel so much better about
Yeah.
this. So when I put this thing up to my face and I turn it on, do I hold my breath? Do I breathe through my mouth? Do I just keep doing it until I pass out? What's going to happen?
Well, let me be completely candid with you.
Yes, please.
What happens the first time is it depends on the person. I can tell you that I could do it. I wish you could see me, or my wife could do it, or anybody that works with the company. I mean, we're all, we do this twice a day, every day. That's what we do. It's just like, brushing your teeth. And I can talk while I'm doing it. I just breathe normally. I don't even think about it. Now, the very first time, again, it for most people, you've used a neti pot, right?
No.
She doesn't like to put anything
never
in
done.
I do not like to put anything up my nose. I do not even like nose spray.
Well,
this is going to be fun.
There may be a learning curve, but the proper technique is just breathe normally through your mouth, and relax. I mean, you will not drown.
I'm going to have her simulate it first. We're going to have her put it up to her nose and simulate it. And I'm going to have her breathe in through her mouth and out through her mouth and talk to us a little bit with the thing up to her nose. Okay. And then at some point in there, then you're going to just want to push it and keep doing what you're doing, and you'll see. And we put fresh batteries in here. That's the one thing that I've heard people. I had a couple people from this show that bought one, and they said, well, the first time I did it, it went down my throat. I have never had that happen. There's not a single drop has gone down my throat. But if the batteries are low, it can happen. So we put fresh batteries in it, so that will not happen. All right.
I think that the real key is honestly, it's about relaxation. I mentioned about talking. Don't talk while you're doing this the first time. That's I wasn't. So it's just that after you've mastered it, it's very, very natural. I mean, it'll seem like nothing.
Yeah.
But
I can.
Some people, they get it the very first time, and other people it takes a few times.
Okay. Well, I have one last question for you. Why the two dots over the A in Naväge? I mean, it makes it so much harder to find the proper website on the internet.
I know.
Why?
I wasn't really thinking about the umlaut when we and its impact on the World Wide Web when I came up with the name. It's really kind of, for me, it's an homage to Haagen-Dazs ice cream, because I really loved their ice cream. I don't like it as much today as I did 30 years ago. Anyway, never mind that. But I must get at least one letter from a professor every 6 months or so, really very irate that we're improperly using the umlaut.
It's cultural appropriation.
That's right. So it's like, and then they compare us to Motley Crue, which apparently
Yes.
misused the umlaut
Of
as well.
course. It just looked cool. So you can just say that. It's okay to say that.
It makes
just
it look
looked
like
cool.
it makes it look
This
like
is
it's
cool, yeah.
European. It's
And we
a
didn't
cool
want people-
It's cool.
There was a part of me that, for Americans, they see that and they're not going to say Naväge or Naväge or something. They're going to say, they're probably going to say Naväge because that umlaut does have an impact. But I don't know. At some point, we may have to lose it.
No.
I like it. I like it, Steve. I don't want to lose it.
Okay, then don't lose it. Then it's your thing. You keep it if you want to.
We love it.
All right. Well, listen, it was great talking to you. We're going to have NP Mel B do this now, and we really appreciate you being on. Appreciate your staff working with us, and particularly Elise, and who I think is watching live. And Martin Hoke, president of Rhino Systems Incorporated, the medical device company that distributes and created the Naväge nasal care system. Thank you for being on our show today.
Hey, Dr. Steve, Dr. Scott, DJ L, get it wrong. Anyway, thank you all for having me.
Thanks. Great to have you, Martin. Thank you, man.
Thank you for the tips.
Take care.
Okay.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good stuff.
All right. What a good guy. I mean, that was the real dude.
Yeah, that's cool. He sounded
cool?
great.
This is very cool.
Yeah, very nice. Very
okay,
smart.
so let me get that meeting ended. All right, you ready to do it?
No, I'm terrified.
So I'm going to... are
Are
you
we
really?
going to take bets on how many chunks are in the bottom?
No, please don't. Okay, so respiratory stuff. I can handle blood, guts.
Yeah. No, I'm the
Your
same.
entire intestines could be on this table, and I'd be fine with it.
And shit, no
if
problem.
you hawk up a loogie,
Yep.
I'm going to go the other way.
Yep. No, I get it.
I can't stand it when patients are like,
Okay, well, you're not going to hawk up a loogie.
No.
You will never be able to again because you're going to have clean nasal passage. So the first thing you
Yes.
want to do
All right.
is
Talk
take
me
the
through
distilled
this.
water and fill
Take
it
the
up
distilled-
to the
All right, that's your
line. And
job,
we're going to give
Stacey.
you play-by-play because this is a an audio show.
Yeah. So we're pouring the water into the fill line.
Yep, there you go.
Whoop.
Stop. Okay, now take the pod.
Take
Do
the
the
pod.
saline pod first.
That's this one?
Yep, and
Okay, it's the
you can
clear
see
one.
there's a shape to it. So
Mhm.
put it with the foil side down, with the shape in the correct
Foil side
configuration.
down?
Foil side down. Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, it only goes one way.
That's like one of those fancy coffee pots.
That's right.
Dr.
Now
Steve.
close the lid, and the saline will kind of close it till it snaps. There you go. Now the saline is already mixed, and it's ready to go. Now take the device, and what you want to do is put it up to your nose, and we're not going to do anything yet.
Okay.
You see where the button is, right by your
This?
right? Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
That's the button.
Yep, that's the button.
All right.
So if you push the button in halfway, you'll just get suction. And if you push it in all the way, you'll get the full Monty. So for right now, just put it up to your nose and just talk to us for a minute. Because I know you are kind of nasal phobic. And you're not going to need that towel.
You're going to do great.
Unless
You're
you,
gonna do great,
if you yank it away from your face while you're pushing the button, you will need the towel.
Because it'll spread.
You'll need the
everywhere.
towel at the end.
Okay.
At the very end.
All right.
Okay?
So I'm just going to put it up to my nose.
Just put it up to your nose
The
and
two
just
little pillows
yep.
into
I was
my
going to call
nose
them nose nipples, but yeah.
Yes. This is so weird.
That's what I was going to call them, but
Okay.
well,
I have nose
it's
nipples.
put them old nose nipples up
Is it?
there, and just so you want to put your head forward like you're
Okay, I
sniffing
think I'm going to have
roses.
to take my glasses off.
Okay, fair enough. Ooh,
Okay. All right.
all right. So put it up to your nose.
Okay, up to my
Okay,
nose.
and just talk to us for a minute. All right.
Lean-
Yep, and
lean
yep,
forward a little
and
bit.
level. You can tell it's level because you can see the water.
I
Okay.
feel like I'm just looking cross-eyed.
Now, what you want to do is go ahead and take your finger and push that thing in, just the
little
button
bit.
in, just a little bit, till you could sort of hear the motor kick in. Let me turn this off.
Okay.
All right. You got it? There you go. Now, now don't stop though. Don't stop. Push it all the way in. Then keep it on there.
Go for it.
See, now you have saline in your nose, and you're
Yeah.
not sucking it out. So
No,
you need to
okay.
keep running it now.
Okay.
So do it sort of halfway, and you'll feel suction, and then push it all the way in. There you go. Now push it all the way in. Just push it all the way in. Is there
I think-
water?
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Is there saline going into the bottom, Stacey? I can't
Yes,
see.
yes. We have success.
Okay.
I heard a rock land
So
in
she
there.
is crying. No, don't stop. No. Yeah, you can.
I think we got some diamonds in there.
Well, let's see. Let's see what's in there.
There's some business.
Yeah, look at that.
Success.
That is so gross.
Success.
That's the whole point, is that was in you, and now it's not in you.
Oh, you did good, Mel. Way to go.
Are you seriously not going to do any more?
Yeah, I'm going to in a minute, but I need a
You got to
break.
drain first.
Okay, so the key to that is to...
Oh my gosh, my head is like...
Does it feel good? Yeah.
It feels really open.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I want to do some more.
Now you want to do some more?
I want to do some more, but
Okay.
I need a minute.
Okay.
That feels so...
Well, that's weird.
It
Really
feels like it's sucking my brains out.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
all
what's
starve to
great
death,
about it.
then.
The suction part is the part I like because that gives you confidence that it's not going to go down your throat.
Like, I don't think I've breathed this well in a really long time.
Okay, do it again then.
Okay.
You got about half of it.
You're rock
You did good.
star status now.
I took
You
half
going to change
of it.
flavors?
No, well, she can't
yet.
in the middle of it.
Not in the middle. I got to do the rest of this. Okay.
You can do it.
All right.
You can do
So,
it.
back up tomatoes.
Yep.
Should I turn it the other way?
Yeah, turn it the other way.
turn it the other way.
There we go. Okay, so she's rotating
I've
the
rotated it.
nose nipples 180 degrees.
So it's going to suck and blow opposite.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Hold it level. There you go.
Is it level?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So she's pushing the button. Are you getting saline?
A little bit.
Okay, push it harder. There you go. I see it pouring in there now.
We're going.
You're doing
Now
good.
you're rolling, baby.
Now let it go ahead and empty all the way, and then it will suck the residual out. There you go. Now it's going to suck all the residual out. You got that last bolus of... There you go. Now you can pull it away, and you're done. It's that quick.
Okay.
You did
That
great.
what is bad because I knew what to expect.
There you go. Like he said. Oh, look at the stuff in there. Hold
No, I don't want to look at the stuff in there.
hold that up to the camera.
Oh. Okay.
Well, let me have it. Let me have it.
I can't reach it, do we?
Yeah, here.
Okay, I can hold it up to the
Okay,
camera.
yeah. Can they see it?
I don't know. It's still dripping.
There you go. Good job. Okay.
Good job.
Awesome.
That
All
is
right. There you go.
disgusting.
You didn't know you had it in you, literally.
Do you want to get that out of in front of you? Do you want to hand it to me so you're not looking at it?
I just
Okay.
Good girl.
Stacy will drink from that later. That's the second half of the bit.
That is really gross what's in there.
Yeah.
But my head, okay, that is the weirdest feeling. It feels like it's my eyeballs are going to suck out of
Yeah,
the,
that's
like,
because you're not
backwards
used
in
to
my head.
suction in your nose.
No.
That's the thing. So what his genius was rather than using gravity, was to use suction.
Yeah, that was really
So
awesome.
in one nostril, out the other. Don't any of it go down your throat? Do you even feel salt on your tongue right now? You might because you stopped.
When I stopped, I did.
Yeah.
I felt it. It was like going down my throat.
Yeah.
But I think that was just
Yeah, just don't abort it once you start.
Don't stop. No.
Or if you're going to stop, let off on the button a little bit so you just get
the
suction. All
So
right,
yeah,
anyway.
but it did go down my throat just a little bit when I stopped, but not the second time.
Yeah, congratulations.
I was
So-
more relaxed. He was right.
Yeah.
Like I could tell when I relaxed.
Yeah. Well, he ought to know.
Good stuff.
He's a smart guy.
He's pretty.
It sounds like he's done that once or twice.
He's a fart smeller. I mean, smart feller.
He's a real fart smeller.
No,
You're
he's
enjoying breathing now.
I can. I feel like everything's really open.
Okay, so what I would like for you to do
Yes.
is now that you have this thing, and I'll give you a few of the eucalyptus pods, do it a couple times a day or at least once or twice a day. And then when you come back in 3 weeks, because we're doing a 3-week rotation with you guys, let us know if you can tell any difference.
Okay.
Okay? Cool. All right, awesome.
I think I know what everybody in my family is getting for Christmas next year.
There you go.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/SBO. Terms and conditions apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want your connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Now, Stacey, we have Stacey DeLoach in the studio today.
Hey! A round of booze for Stacey.
So Stacey
sent you a story the other day.
DJ Mel B doesn't know anything about all of this, but Stacey
just as well. Mel B we don't want to
pulled a trick on us and got me in hot water with some of the fans, and got
including
Stacey,
your wife.
Including my wife, and got Stacey in hot water too. And the thing is, listen, have you ever seen Dr. Strangelove, the movie?
Yes.
Okay, so at the end of the movie, the Russian ambassador says if this nuclear weapon goes off, because they've been trying to stop this nuclear weapon, and all the fail-safe stuff has failed. If this goes off, we have a doomsday weapon that's going to sterilize the whole surface of the earth. And the American president, who is Peter Sellers, says, what good is a doomsday weapon if you don't tell anybody about it? And they were like, well, it's not a deterrent if nobody knows about it. I said, well, we were going to announce it at the next month at some meeting or something. So a radio bit doesn't do anybody any good if you don't let anybody in on it. So I'll give you this. But anyway, if you want to, you have the floor, sir, because this is the first time. This is the first time you've been here since all this went down. So you said you wanted to.
I'll own it.
Yeah, own it, right?
It doesn't scare me to own it.
Yeah, you got no choice but to own it. But anyway,
no, I could deny it if I wanted to, but I own it. No, but
so was there anything in particular you wanted to talk about that, or can we just now lay this to rest that you were being a shithead? And but I kept talking about it because I wanted people to understand what you did was something that people have done. As a matter of fact, there were 2 nurses in New York that got busted for selling fake vaccine cards for people.
They sold real vaccine cards. They just did not give somebody the injection to validate that it was real.
Was their thing? Were they charging for?
They were getting paid $150 to $250 per card.
Yeah.
They were marketing it among friends. That's how I knew about the story in
the first
another
place.
state.
Did the people who got the vaccine, did they think they were getting the vaccine?
No, they didn't give them the injection or anything. And they sent in undercover law enforcement.
Okay.
Undercover law enforcement went in several times, and they bought a card.
Okay.
I know, in all honesty, hand on a stack of Bibles, several people which have done that, which is kind of what prompted me having a little radio bit here.
Yeah. Well, it was a good bit, and I tell you, I kind of appreciated it. At the time, I still do. If I'd known about it, it might have helped, but maybe not. Maybe not. I might not have had such an honest reaction to it. But I wanted to keep it going because I wanted people to understand that if you think that you're going to some concert and they're only letting people in with vaccine cards, that somehow you're safe, you're not.
No. Well, look at all the breakthroughs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that too, but right. This is before we knew about all the breakthrough cases, but there were tons of people who were getting these vaccine cards, real vaccine cards, without actually getting the vaccine, and they can flash those at the concert venues, and they just let them right in. And you're not protected from that. If you think that's going to do it, it isn't, and that's why. I've got issues with mandates. I've got issues with the way that we have this ID card that will get you in certain things, and certain people can't get into those things. I don't like that.
The only way that you're going to verify that is do blood work. And I'll be damned if I'm going to give somebody authorization to do blood work.
To see if you have
the antibodies and everything else to go into a restaurant for dinner.
Well, what you really need is... the blood work would be great, but you need a PCR test.
Right.
So one that is super accurate, that is cheap, and you can do it in 2 minutes while people are waiting in line. That's really the only way that you can guarantee.
When I had COVID.
And even then, that will knock out people who pose no danger to anybody just because they've got residual viral RNA. Do you know how long when you had... So DJ Mel B... I don't know why I call you DJ Mel B, but it sounds better than NP Mel B. It just sounds better. Did you get a PCR test after? Because you had long COVID. I mean, you had 2 to 3 months worth of symptoms.
I did.
Did you have a PCR in any of that? You didn't.
No, I didn't.
So, okay, because you probably would have been positive at some point. And that's why I tell people, don't keep testing yourself. When your symptoms go away, and when after the 5 days, if your symptoms are gone, you wear a mask around people for the next 5 days, stop testing yourself. Because we had, I know people who have been stuck in other countries because they do a test, they've got residual RNA, and they're completely asymptomatic, they're totally fine, they can't get out of the country because you got to have a quote-unquote negative test. So there's flaws to all of this stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, significant flaws. That doesn't mean we don't try to be careful and do some things that science makes sense. But anyway, was there? So you don't. So
I let the radio bit run for 6 months, and it's no fun unless you actually close it down.
Okay. Well, thank you for closing it down.
Thank you, Stacey. You're the best.
Go F yourself.
You get nothing. You lose.
I just wish that you had played.
Sir.
I wish you had played some of the calls that you had where people agreed with me.
Okay, you're not wrong about that. I did have
okay.
2. I had and I didn't play a tenth of the ones that called saying, "Go, hey, Dr. Steve, why are you letting this asshole on the show and all this stuff?" But I every single one of those I responded to. I said, "I think this is why, because I just want people to know that this is a thing." And that vaccine cards by themselves are not going to guarantee safety. And that was the
piece of paper won't protect me? How dare you?
Well, that's a good point. But anyway. So anyway,
because I figured it was time to close this one up when the 2 nurses, $1.2 million.
Yeah,
it's what they estimated at.
Yeah,
it's what they cleared off of that in New York. Just because, according to the article, they were being issued syringes that were linked to the COVID cards, I guess, QR codes and everything else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were just shooting it in a bottle of water or something because they don't know where the vaccine went to.
Yeah.
It's just 2 people in a room.
So even though they were QR coding the syringes and all this stuff, because I know when I tried to help a friend get into the country who lived in New York that was living in Canada, it was tough. I mean, the things you had to go through to get them to accept a Canadian vaccine card was astounding.
Right.
I mean, to let somebody get back into the state. So that was crazy.
The fun part was just the white knights that got involved.
Oh,
yeah. Karen's children decided they wanted to try to come after me.
Okay.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, you did portray yourself as quite the...
But they needed better VPNs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's not hard to tell who they were.
Okay, so now you're going to dox the people.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Here we go.
No, not now.
Just make it worse. Just let it go.
Hey, how about any questions for us out there, Dr. Steve?
From
Medical questions.
are there anything in the
show?
chat room about old Stacey DeLoach?
No, but there's a huge talk about how wonderful Mel B is.
She is wonderful.
Really?
Yeah, they're talking about how
What are
great
they
you are.
saying?
Well, I told them you were an inspiration all for getting it out and taking it, and they said that you did really well, awesome job, and look, sucks and blows.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
when he said that, I just, it took everything I had to not, and all those things. So,
did you miss this part here when I went like this?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Damn, don't hurt her.
All right, stop with the visual humor. This is a radio show.
It is radio.
All right. Anyway, well, we should probably take some medical questions. We have anything else for Stacey on this?
No.
You're obviously forgiven. And
yeah.
He brought us boudin balls for Mardi Gras.
And a king cake.
And a king cake, which I am taking to my staff up in Virginia tomorrow because I got to drive all the hell the way up there, and I might as well. It doesn't matter. All right. Oh, this is one for NP Mel B. How about that? Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Dr. Steve. How you doing?
Hey, good, man.
I have a question about those of us who have to do intramuscular injections. I'm doing TRT, and I do 2 injections per week. So
he's doing testosterone replacement therapy. That's what TRT is.
I've read that some people are building up scarring where their injection sites are. I've been rotating, left cheek, right cheek, and then left thigh, right thigh. And so far, I don't notice any issues. Do you have any advice about that overall?
I can help.
How do you give yourself an injection in the cheek and do it right? Because the place where we recommend that people inject is not really accessible.
I do it,
or not easily.
I can do it.
Well, you can do it, I guess. Yeah, you can.
I just couldn't stick a needle in
Okay,
myself.
well, talk about it, and then we'll let Scott jump in.
Yeah.
Sticking a needle in myself? No way. Not
No,
gonna
this
do it.
guy, the question that he had.
Yes, I would recommend rotating.
Okay,
Just because of that scar tissue, and anytime you put anything sharp in your body, you're poking a hole in it, and then it has to heal itself. It's not going to be the same.
So do you have
after
a
that.
particular rotation region that you would recommend?
No, just rotate.
Okay.
I know I give shots to my sister-in-law, and I'll alternate them. I'll do one butt cheek one week, and then the other butt cheek the next week.
Do you want to talk about the proper place to put it if you're going to put it in your butt cheek, because that is important?
Yeah, the hip bone, your iliac crest right there. You're going to put your middle finger on it.
Yep.
Spread your fingers like you're making a peace sign.
Yep.
Your index finger and your middle finger. And you're going to go in the middle of the V. So your middle finger would be on, if you were doing it on your right cheek, your middle finger on your right hand's going to be on your iliac crest. Make the V.
Yep.
Stick it right in the middle of the V.
Okay. What I always did, and tell me what you think about this, is I would make my hand into a C, and then put my middle finger on that iliac crest, the side of the, just above the hip. And
thank you. Take care. Oh, and can you use this for the podcast? Thanks.
Okay, sure, dude.
Oh, he's been listening all this time.
And then wherever my thumb hits is where you put the injection.
Yeah. That might be a little far, but from what I learned, and then there's different ways.
No, it's the
and
greater
it's changed over the
trochanter.
years.
The greater trochanter.
He has teeny little hands.
And he does.
No,
have
I do
teeny
not.
hands.
I've got monstrous hands. I would have you come over here and do it, but then it would be kind of inappropriate. So I'll do it on Scott later. But I guess it's that place, the greater trochanter of the hip.
Yeah,
The
it's
hip
where
bone. The hip
it's
bone.
It's where your butt muscle, where
and
it
then-
just starts to stick out. You want it in that meaty part.
Right, but closer to the middle because there's no nerves and
Right.
veins and arteries right there, and that's the thing.
Mhm.
I think we've thoroughly confused people. I know I'm thoroughly confused by our own description of this, so I'll put something on the YouTube channel about how to properly do this. But we always recommend people just do it in their thigh. Where if you're going to do it in the thigh, where would you do it?
I would do it right on the top.
Right on the top?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
if
not
I were
on the
giving
middle
it to
part, though.
myself.
Not on the middle part.
No. If I were giving it to myself, I would give like right in here.
Okay.
But if you're doing it on somebody else, I usually go on the side.
Okay, so but you could rotate there. So
Mm-hmm.
front right, front left, middle middle right, middle left, and then you'd have 6 sites just on your
sites,
thighs.
right. Mm-hmm.
Scott, you were going to say something.
Yeah, all I was going to say the reason that happens, it's the same reason why in trigger points I don't like doing a lot of trigger points. The needles are big, and the gauge is big on these testosterone shots for the most part. They're like 22 gauge needles, and they're big needles, and they do cause scarring in there, so it's easy to get some scarring in that deep, heavy muscle.
Yeah.
So moving around is good.
Just try not to use the same exact entry point every time.
Mm-hmm. But you should, and that's the only thing I wish that we could fix about testosterone was making it more of a water-based injection. And
but then you have to do it every day.
No, I know. But
that's the problem.
Yep.
Okay, so Dr. Scott, before we get out of here, do you have any questions from the chat room?
Yeah, we do have one. It's from Cardiff Electric.
Excellent. He's our boss, by the way.
Oh, okay. So
he owns the network that we're on, and Godspeed, Cardiff Electric. He got his studio back together after the brutal attack by another podcast group.
So I weigh myself every night before bed, and again once I wake up. Sometimes my weight has gone up, sometimes it has gone down. Why is that?
God, for real? That's his question?
His question, yeah.
Oh my God!
Stop obsessing. You
no,
look great.
The hell has frozen over. I mean, the Andy Kaufman of podcasting actually asked us a real question. I love it. Okay, so yes. Yes, sir. I have the same issue, and it's fluid.
There you go.
Fluid.
Self-a-bill.
It's always fluid. I can make weight pretty easily by just not drinking beer the night before, because I tend to retain fluid when I do that, and by drinking water and stuff, and then voiding my bladder completely in the morning. And you can lose. If you piss out a liter, that's 2.2 pounds right there. So, and it all has to do with how much salt you've eaten, what you've been drinking, what you've been eating. If you've retained a lot, eating salads and stuff like that you're evacuating quickly, where you've got really fast transit time through the colon. So you don't have food that's just hanging around in there, and adding to your weight also will cause you to lose weight the next day. But you're not losing fat. What we're interested in is losing fat. I could care less, really, if I'm losing weight. So there are non-scale measures that you can use to see if you're trying to lose weight, which we use as shorthand for losing fat. And those are things like, your measurements changing and your body fat changing. I have a Withings scale that tells me my body fat measurement, and I love that thing, and it'll tell you your total body water too, and you can watch it go up and down with your weight, but what you're wanting to do is see that total body fat go down. So excellent question.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yes, thank you, sir.
Fluid.
Yes.
Did you listen to Jim and Sam yesterday?
I did not. I'm going to be listening tomorrow, though, because I'll be on the road.
Because they were talking about a new little thing, about a little card now that's come out that you can present to your doctor that says, please don't weigh me, because I don't want to be body shamed by my doctor.
Oh, my God.
It went on for a while, but apparently this is a new thing because I don't want to be offended by finding out I'm too heavy. And by the way, I also have to give consent.
It's not body shame. Well, you have to always give consent. Somebody can refuse to be weighed. That's no problem.
True. Don't you give consent when you walk through the door?
No.
You know you're there.
No.
You have a good. I agree with you. You would think you would. I mean, I know you don't, but you would think you would.
Well, I mean, I can't make you drag do it. Right. I can't drag you onto the scale. You just say,
if you're so heavy I can't throw you on the scale, then there's going to be an issue.
Just say, I don't want to be weighed. Yep. And that's fine. But here's the thing. I don't get this business where all of a sudden morbid obesity is healthy. It's not. I'm sorry. Increased risk of heart attack and stroke, increased risk of obstructive sleep apnea, and therefore Pickwickian syndrome. So you can live a long time and be morbidly obese. I've known people that do that. Oh, yeah. You can live a long time and smoke cigarettes. I've known people that live to be 90 smoking cigarettes. Yep. Here's the problem. We don't have a blood test that you can do on someone that says you can smoke until you're 100 and you'll be fine. When we have that, then we can do that, and then we can tell this group of people, you just go smoke all you want to, and we won't say anything to you about it because you have that gene marker that says you can smoke and you'll never get cancer or heart disease.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like, somebody that's 70 years old and they smoked for the last 60 years and they're at 70, what are you going to do for them at 70 by having to quit smoking?
I don't know. I mean, it does increase your life expectancy if you quit smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, also, a 10% drop in your weight if you are morbidly obese. So if you're 600 pounds, you drop down to 540, you can decrease your risk of sudden death as well. So there are reasons to do it.
Mm-hmm. And
no, I don't think we should call people, fatty pig fatty and tubs of lard and stuff like that. I agree. We shouldn't. I mean, it's
fat shame
funny,
them,
but you shouldn't.
Still.
Yeah, you shouldn't fat shame them. But telling someone that if they lose weight, they will decrease their risk of sudden death to me, is not fat shaming.
No, and here's the other thing especially for you two, is to consider with patients that come. If you can't weigh them,
I thought you were calling us fat.
No, gosh, no. Think about prescribing medications. It really helps if we know how much somebody weighs, so we can kind of dose them.
That is,
and that's very important.
I'm going to give you one of these. By God, Dr. Scott.
Hey, I get a bill.
You get one.
Give yourself a bill.
Because there are medications that we have that are weight based.
Very
specific, right?
Yeah, especially like a thyroid medication.
We dose things by milligrams per kilogram of things.
Yeah, that's very
particularly important. in the ICU. We do things milligram per kilogram. Now, James Gregory used to have a bit where they were asking people. He was going on a puddle jumper from one island like Antigua to somewhere else, and they would ask people how much you weighed, and he said, I know these big fat ladies are just lying about it. It's like, I ain't going to tell them my weight. And it's like, well, why are you asking these people what their weight is? They say, so we know how much gas to put in the tank. And it's like, fill her up.
Nope. Nope. All of your luggage is weighed. You will still, because I did this for years, flying out to oil platforms, doing salvage work. Yes, you will stand on the scales. You will be weighed. All your bags will be weighed, and once they're weighed, they're sealed, and you're not allowed to touch them.
Yeah,
because they have to calculate how much fuel to put in there to fly out and make it back.
Yeah,
and we used to do that in Alaska too.
Well, his point was just fill up the tank, and then you don't have to worry about it. But you want to know that you've got enough. It really does make a difference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
very important.
All right. Yeah, I don't get that one. I'm probably catch hell for that. But listen, like I said, I don't want to shame anyone. I'm not. I mean, we joke around, but I'm not in the business of shaming people. But I guess I'm just repeating myself. But I just don't think that telling someone that there are risks. I mean, if I tell someone because you're continuing to smoke, you're at risk of a heart attack and stroke, am I smoke shaming them? I mean, I don't think that's shaming. That's giving medical information. I'm trying to
enlighten them.
That's what we get paid to do. That's our job.
Well, okay. Well,
it's like going to the mechanic and them telling you
there are certain
what's wrong with your car.
Right. What's wrong with your car and how to take better care of it.
Soldiers in World War II said I was just following orders too. So that's not a good enough reason. But I think that we're really attempting through science and evidence to provide people with a longer life that will give them a better quality of life, and there's no shame in that.
No.
So, all right. Anything else?
I'm about to say the last 3 years, nothing personal. I don't want you taking care of me the last 3 years. I'm going to run wild and go into the grave screaming.
I have said the same thing, that I quit smoking, but when I get a terminal illness, I'll smoke again. But that was just a way to fool myself into saying so long to cigarettes, not goodbye. And now if I get a terminal illness, I'm not going to smoke.
No, I'm going to try heroin.
I will have sexual congress with anybody who will have me, though, if I have a terminal illness. I'm just telling you that right now. And I'm telling my wife that, too. I won't smoke, but I'm going to go ham.
So you want your headstone to read, you came and went at the same time.
I guess. I don't know. That's terrible.
Oh, my God.
You'll never believe how long I've saved that joke to use it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
As far as practical jokes are concerned, we've had James Byrd on the show. He was the guy that came in second in the the funniest person in the Tri-Cities competition, but he owns a company called, or owned a company called Restore Life USA, which DJ Mel B knows. And what they do is they take people's bodies when they're done with them, and they do medical research. And then they cremate the body and give it back to the family within 30 days. So you get for the family, you get a free cremation. It takes 30 days to get it, but you get a free cremation. And you get to advance medical science. Well, I've already signed up for it just because the only reason I want to do it is so that I'm just laying on James Bird's slab naked and he's got to, cut my knee out. I just think that would be funny. That's my last practical joke on him.
My uncle died from Lou Gehrig's disease, so he donated his body.
Yeah.
Right here in East Tennessee.
Yeah.
Military.
Yeah.
Yeah, donated it for science. But yeah, when I was in law enforcement, we went to the body farm.
Oh.
Yeah.
We went to the body
That's
farm
what I want.
because I was a canine unit, and I was helping Bradley County, which is near Chattanooga, train a dog for cadaver research.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went and got 2 fingers and an ear.
Yep.
Got a ketchup, one of the big ketchup squeeze bottles, put those body parts in there with saline.
Ooh, and then squirted it around places.
Well, what we did, we were training the dog to find drowning victims. Because as your body gases off, those gases are going to rise to the top.
Yeah.
They're oil-based. They're going to collect on the surface. So what we were doing was training the dog, put the dog in a little skiff, a little flat-bottom boat, and we would go out and start downriver and come up, and then we'd have like 200 feet of a quarter-inch hose with a weight on it, and just sitting there pumping it, putting the surface in the water, and then it floats up, and watch the dog so he turns. So now he's wind sending. So once he turns on the boat, you go back down, you come back up, and you work a grid pattern.
Triangulate it,
right? And that way plus or minus 10 feet where that body is. Then we put divers down from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we got body parts there.
Dogs are amazing. Have you ever seen somebody training dogs where they take those things and they shoot them into the lake?
Yes.
And then they use hand signals, and the dog will turn around and look at them, and they'll use hand signals to tell the dogs which direction to go and how far to go, and they'll go retrieve. It's amazing.
I handled Kazan was my dog's name. He was a Belgian Malinois. Worked in English, Dutch, German, silent hand signals, and numbers.
Wow.
So I could talk to him just 4, and we were the only 2 that knew what 4 meant.
Yeah.
But he was aggressive alert, which means, and nobody trains this anymore, he would rip a car apart.
Wow.
If he smelled anything. But he was utility, narcotics, and tracking, dual purpose.
Well, my dog, when you guys came up here, the dogs followed you, and then I just went Ralphie Crate, and they went right downstairs. That's the one word that they understand.
That's the one thing.
But dogs are amazing.
They are.
Anyway.
They are.
All right, let's get out of here. Always go to Dr. Scott. Thanks, Dr. Scott. Stacey, no one can hear you, but thank you for coming on. And NP Mel B, thank you. And thank you, Stacey, for clearing up that malarkey. And NP Mel B for being a good sport today. That was fun.
It was fun.
We can't forget Rob Sprance, Bob Kelly, Greg Hughes, Anthony Cumia, Jim Norton, Travis Teff, That Gould Girl, Lewis Johnson, Paul Ovcharski, Chowdy 1008, Eric Nagel, the Port Charlotte Whore, the Saratoga Skank, the Florida Floozy, Roland Campos, Sister of Chris, Sam Roberts, She Who Owns Pigs and Snakes, Pat Duffy, Dennis Falcone, Matt Kleinschmidt, Dale Dudley, Holly from the Gulf, Christopher Walken's double Steve Tucci, the great Rob Bartlett, Vicks Nether Fluids, Cardiff Electric, Casey's Wet T-Shirt, Carl's Deviated Septum, producer Chris, the inimitable Vincent Paulino, everybody. Eric Zane, Bernie and Sid, Martha from Arkansas's daughter, Cardiff Electric, Ron Bennington, and of course our dear departed friends, Fez Watley and GVAC, who supported this show and never went unappreciated. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks go to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. We really could not do this without you, and it would be stupid if we did if you weren't there. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules and podcasts, other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine.